left onto the ramp to I-90 East.
Let's get this over with, so move on to the next job. I'm getting calls lately for stuff that really doesn't fit too well in this truck. I can do certain refrigerators, but these bigger refrigerators I could transport them, but the problem is my door, and I don't have a ramp or a lift gate, so it makes it really difficult getting in when they're super heavy. I've done it, but it's not really worth it in trying to fit them in there. Unless it's for disposal, where you can just throw them on the side and throw them in, not really worry about it. But when they're new and they need to be transported in good shape, unless they're a smaller, like apartment refrigerator or just a normal size, that's okay. But I tend to not want it because I don't want to damage them, and because they have electronics and compressors and stuff like that. So liability, like what I'm doing now, transporting pallets of machinery and stuff like that. That stuff's not, you can't really damage it. It's big heavy metal gears and stuff. It can move around in there. It's not gonna, it's not like delicate electronics or compressors and hoses and stuff like that, where the chance of damaging anything like that is pretty much a nil. So I still have the cargo insurance to cover it, but that's if it gets stolen or something, if someone breaks into the truck, but it's not going to get damaged. So that's the thing I'm kind of leery about doing. Really delicate types of electronic equipment. I do it, but I tend to especially refrigerators, because they're so expensive. Like washers and dryers, they're fine. I can get them in. Even stoves.
In a quarter mile, merge onto I-90
they're a little
East.
easier to manage. Even those, I'm kind of not really that excited about delivering those, but I will. Having a lift gate would be very beneficial appliance delivery, because
Continue on I-90 East for 21 miles.
Because even though the refrigerator, it's not too tall, with a it's starting to rain now. What was I gonna say? Oh, because if you can lift it up on the lift gate, if you have a lift gate, you can hydraulic lift gate, and you lift it up and just slide it in, and then strap it down with blankets and all that. And when you're trying to carry it up without a ramp onto the bumper and all that, you could possibly damage the item, depending on, I've done it, but it's just, but if you're, junk removal, if you're removing a refrigerator, it's no big deal. Just throw it in there. I do a bunch of those. So I'm real careful about what kind of freight I deliver because of liability. The value of the product, and if with the cargo insurance is going to be going to work. It's still a deductible. You still got like a $500 deductible, so I got to come up with that money no matter what. So what I look at is I'm kind of like risk management, like an insurance company would do. Is what are the chances of something like that getting damaged in the back of a truck? And if it's new, it's got a lot of electronics and a lot of delicate types of things like that, instruments that can be damaged very easily. I've even transported fine art, but I had the proper amount of cargo insurance, and I had the documents for the art. I transported I think it was a $10,000 painting, high-end painting, but I made sure it was, padded down, where it was nothing was going to get damaged, and it worked. But That's one thing. But electronics and stuff, it just gets too much. Something that moves around too much or something could get damaged. I tend to stay away from that kind of stuff unless I'm moving someone and they have TV or whatever. A lot of times I'll tell them to put it in their car. Better idea. But it really depends on the situation. It also depends on the customer. If they know the risks and they understand the risk and they're able to agree to it, then I hate these picture ones. Yeah, so that's kind of the way I look at it. Risk factors and stuff like that. Like normal furniture, it used to be back in the day, it was, I got it was 80 cents per pound, 60 cents or 80, I don't know what it was, something like 60 or 80% per pound per article for insurance. But I don't have that kind of insurance. In order to have that kind of insurance, you have to have a household goods transport permit. I don't have that. So, but I've dealt with claims and stuff when I drove for Mayflower. We had household good permits and all that, so we could, when they made claims, they went to the claims department. So, but they really never got much back, if you think about it, unless it's super heavy, because it goes by per pound. And they never really insured any kind of prefab furniture. Wasn't like IKEA wasn't insured. I don't even know if electronics, I can't remember, they insured that. So it was really a limited insurance. So if a customer is really concerned about a product that they need to transport, they should get a separate insurance policy to cover that, because a lot of these insurances really don't cover it. It's kind of tough, I don't know. It's a little bit, you got to look into it, but I just stay away from really high-end delicate materials. There's plenty of stuff to haul, so I just haul stuff I feel comfortable with. It makes it easier. Today's a nice day, actually. For December. It's not like this normally. This is like, this reminds me of like early mid-October, like kind of weather we get out here. It's usually pretty icy and snowy and very cold by now. Good thing. Well, we're here. And also, one thing I have a hard time transporting because of the doors that I have in the back. The frame of the door, the roll-up door, is smaller than the box, so I can do queen size, full size, all those kind of beds and mattresses. Very, very easy, very easy. But when it comes to these, the California Kings or these bigger king beds, the width, it's a little bit challenging to. They're 6x6 I think they're a 6 cube or whatever. Where the queens and the fulls are not quite 6 wide. And I think the doorway is like under 6, it's 6'4" inside, or 6'2", 6'4", or 6'4", 6'2", but by 10. But if it's the doorway is kind of, the frame is a little bit closer. It's a little less than 6, so you have to squeeze it in there. And I always tell the customers, we're gonna have to do some squeezing. Plus, you got the wheel wells, which are only about, I think, 50 something. I can't remember how many inches. They're because it's a low deck. You have the wheel wells, so they get in the way when you're loading something that's full 6 feet, and you can push it in, and it gets caught up sometimes on the wheel well. It's not like a van wheel well where it's grounded like those vans, like Sprinter vans. I used to deliver for a mattress company that delivered high-end latex and organic mattresses, and they used a Sprinter van, and sometimes they would call me up and I would use my truck, but they had it in boxes so you could kind of get stuff in there. It was a little bit easier, but their Sprinter van, it wasn't, like this has a little more, it's a box, a cube, so it's a little bit more room, but someone walking on the freeway. Wow. That's, it's an Amazon driver. Wow. That's really terrible. They're in a walk? What's that all about? That's awful. You think you could just call your dispatch and have them come out and get you? I feel bad for them. Amazon, I was just talking about those Sprinter vans. Oh, the Sprinter van. Or one of the, not a Sprinter van, but like that. They have the ProMaster and the, I don't know, Ford something or other, Transit. But they have the rounded wheel wells, because I did do a job with one of those. I rented one, and the rounded wheel wells, you can kind of, you're not going to damage anything, where this has a square with really sharp corners on the wheel wells. It makes it inconvenient on that. I mean, there's good things about it, there's bad things. You can stack things on top of them a little easier, but when it's coming to pushing things in, it gets caught up on the corners, so it damages it. But it's good for stacking things on top, where you can't do that with a round. So there's good and bad, but when it comes to mattresses, I don't want to tear up on a mattress if I have to, since a king size mattress. So I kind of avoid those unless the customer doesn't care and they're used, and we kind of put blankets in there and kind of just get in there. And sometimes those latex ones are, you can squeeze them in there, or the memory foams are flexible.
Welcome to Idaho.
So, all right, we're in Idaho. Just across the border over here. I'm going to a manufacturing. I assume that's what it is. They have manufactured parts for this other company, so I'm picking them up. They're going to load it on a pallet. I might have to inform them to shrink wrap the pallet, because I don't want things flying around back there. If you shrink wrap it, it won't be a problem. So, I was thinking maybe those. I was just thinking about that Amazon driver. I wonder if those drivers are. I was kind of curious about that. If they're contracted, or they actually work directly for Amazon. Because I see the vans all around here, but I don't know if they actually, like UPS. You're working directly for UPS. Now FedEx does have has independent contractors for the ground, where UPS doesn't. They hire, well, they do sometimes. I think UPS sometimes they'll contract drivers during Christmas. I tried to look into that, and I tried to apply, but I never got anything back. I used to work for UPS for about 6 years in the loading trucks and doing sorting and that in the middle of the night or in the morning. So I'm kind of I know a little bit how it works, kind of. I know that all the drivers they're pretty much union, I guess. I mean, I think so, unless when they bring in, I don't know how it works when they bring in temporary drivers, how that works, because I never ask any of the temporary drivers. Because during Christmas, when the Christmas rush would come in, which is around now, that's when UPS just gets hammered. And it was very busy, and it was very, they were really stressed out, getting stuff out. And then you have all these rental trucks who come in, and they hire these temporary drivers. Now, I don't know if they put them on the union or not, because I never asked. But now I'm seeing that they actually you can even sign up with your own car, your own vehicle, to drive during Christmas, before Christmas, when they have a rush. And I don't know anything about it. That's union, or they just 1099 or subcontractors, I don't know. But I know that FedEx, at least they used to, the ground, I think some of the ground was, the drivers were independent contractors. They would get independent contractor routes. So I'm wondering if Amazon is subcontract routes and they use their vans or what. But I know they have Amazon Flex, which I tried to get on Amazon Flex, and what happened is when I did the background check, I mean, I don't have any tickets. The last driving ticket, traffic ticket or whatever you call it, I had was so long ago, I don't remember. I think it was, I'm trying to remember, because I remember when I was going to apply as a driver for, when I was working at UPS, they offered me a driver position, and they looked at my background and they saw that ticket, and they said, you're going to have to wait, because I tried to get in driving when I first started in, I started in 2001, and I tried to get a driving position there in 2002, because you got to wait, you got to work, and you used to be able to work in the warehouse, and then you become a driver, you apply, you take the tests, they train you. But when I went to go apply, they looked at my record, and back then I had speeding tickets, and that was in 2002. The speeding tickets were previous from like 2000, or when I was doing a route, a maintenance, or when I was doing a route for the library maintenance, janitorial. They had some speeding traps, and I got caught in that. And I had a couple tickets. So it must have been 24 years ago that was the last time I had a speeding ticket, or any kind of ticket. So I drive. I had to go to back then they had a, I gotta drive 55 here. They got road work, I don't want to get a ticket. See, I'm very careful about, I don't care what people do if they drive fast, I drive the speed limit. I can't afford a ticket. It just doesn't make sense. I'd rather just drive the speed limit. But, what was I saying about? Oh, I had so many speeding tickets back then. That's why I drive so slow now. I mean, so according to the speed limit, because I almost lost my driver's license. It came very close, but at the time, the state of Washington, they gave me a chance. I went to a class. I don't know, I can't remember how many hours it was. I completed the class, and they reinstated my license. And ever since then, I've driven like, according to as much as I can, according to the speed limits of it. I never have to go through that again, because to me,